everybody, what's up? It's been a minute since I made a video. It's been a couple weeks actually. I've been working on trim and trying to finish it all up. It's very time consuming and kind of boring, so not really a decent thing to make a video about, but I figured I'd give you an update. It is fall for sure. The temperatures have dropped and it's like 35 degrees outside, so good day to work inside. So I've got all my baseboard done, finally. That took a while. We trimmed out this spot here where the stair rail meets the wall. That turned out really nice, I like it. I kind of got to where I wasn't even noticing it before because I'm just used to it, but now with it trimmed out, it looks nicely finished. So got to do some shoe mold over here where the floor meets the stairs and make some transition strips for like the door thresholds where the floor meets the actual threshold of the door and where like the tile in the bathroom meets the LVP flooring. There's a little step down there. I was at the big box store yesterday and those pre-made strips that don't even match the floor actually are like $30 to $50 each. We're not going to do that, so I'm going to make some. So I took some measurements, got the height I need, the width, and the little step part, and we're just going to mill it out on the router and hope that works. So I'll show you kind of what I'm doing with that and go from there. And here's a bunch of strips of just cut off stuff. I always keep this stuff, if for nothing else, we can use it for kindling, but here are a couple nice lengths of wood, and I'm going to try and make some transition strips out of these. Here's a couple for the large double French doors, and here's a piece. I needed a piece that's 35 3/8, and this is exactly 35 3/8, so that's kind of a good omen, I guess. And that's funny. I love when that happens. So I got to do some machining here. Need to plane this down by about 1/4 of an inch because right now it's 3/4 and I need it to be half. Then we're going to cut a rabbet into here for the little step transition between the subfloor and the finished floor. Then we'll round it over a little bit and mill it, see what it looks like. I don't even know if this is going to work yet, but we're going to try. First, I'm going to plane it down. So that was easy enough to make a transition strip out of a scrap piece of 1x6, 1x4, whatever this cutoff was. But now I have that transition from the tile, and it's a pretty good gap between the height of the tile and the height of the vinyl. And so I'm going to try and make a strip out of a 2x4. So I'm going to rip this in half, make 2 pieces, so I have one for each door. Plane this down to 1 inch thick. So I have to take a 1/2 inch off of this. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Here is our first finished trim piece. Turned out real nice. Put 3 coats of poly on it. Test fit it here. Fits perfectly. Looks nice. All right. I'm going to use some PL Premium construction adhesive here. This is left over from another project, and this was dried out and solid. So rather than waste the rest of this tube, I just drilled a hole through it and it worked. So I don't need to use a ton of this stuff because I mean we're just trying to hold this strip down and make it not, you know, creak. Voila. All right, here's the transition in the bathroom, going from the ceramic tile down to this LVP, and we've got a layer of Durock underneath this, so we've got quite a gap. And this is that 2x4 I ripped in half and then milled down into a transition strip. And it seems like it's gonna work. So I'm gonna put some glue down in here. Awesome. Wow, that worked great. And saved myself about $33 a stick instead of buying this stuff. Cool. Like, perfect. Well, now that the trim is finished in the house, I can move outside and do a little bit of stuff out here. It's beautiful outside. It's warmed up a little bit, so now it's back kind of in the 60s. Perfect, beautiful day. Been watching the leaves change. It's really peaceful out here. Kind of reminds me why we moved here. But my next project is I have to figure out a way to move the old garden shed down at the trailer up here. We used to use it as our pantry, where we kept all of our canned goods while we lived in that trailer. And now the shed is empty and I can bring it up here and actually get all the garden tools and everything that's leaned up against the wall in the basement moved into it and get everything organized. I want to do that before it gets super cold and finally kind of just get the outside cleaned up. To do that, this is where the sewer line comes into the septic drain field right back here. It's kind of grown up a little bit, so I'm going to clean out some of this brush. I've got two really big pine logs right here that I saved when we were clearing this land. I was going to potentially put them through a sawmill, but that's just not happening, and now they're in the way. So I'm going to buck them up, cut them into wood, firewood, and take them to the neighbors. But the point is, we need to clean all this up. And I'm going to cut down this pine tree because it's just junk. These two pine trees, just kind of clean this out a little bit, leave these nice hardwoods, make it a nice little area. Then, if we're able to, we're going to try and get that shed moved up here and kind of put in there somewhere. Get it leveled off, tuck it in the woods, and I'll paint it like a brown or something that matches so it's not obnoxious blue like it is right now. That's kind of our next project. Well, this might look like it's going really fast, but this has been a couple days of work off and on, and I finally got all the pine trees that I didn't want cut, chopped, thrown into the woods, out of the way. And I'm left with these two monster logs. Now I got to get these done. See if I can get this split up, and we're going to take it up to the neighbors because we're having a Halloween party this week. So if I can get all this finished, maybe I can get some seed down and it'll be kind of nice. Got it all seeded and cleaned up as best I could. Now we move that from there up there. I think we'll put it right there. But that's going to have to be in another video because this one's over. See y'all next time. Thanks for watching.